Hello guys, what's up? This is Ben Nelson. On today is Thanksgiving 2014. What is today? It's 27th, 2014. And I hope you've just had a fantastic day spending it with family and friends and eating the stuffing and the turkey and just, eating that stuff up and then taking a beating and then, getting your nap in for the day when all the turkey enzymes kick in. Good times, you know what I'm saying? But I really do hope that it's been well. I went and hung out with one of the grandparents today, Grandma, and she made fantastic lunch for us today. Me and the kids and I went out to it, and we just had a great time and are so grateful for her and all the effort she put into making the wonderful lunch for us, and just everything that she does. She's just a great example. Which leads me on to talk to you today about something that's very important. And it's my next little spiel that I'm going to be giving on YouTube, on the internet, on the World Wide Web. And some of the stuff is kind of freaky, right? Like, I'm doing this stuff. Part of me says, Ben, why are you doing this? Why are you going out and making videos and trying to be some kind of motivational guy? Who are you to say that? Who are you to go out of your own way to say that you're bigger than yourself? And I guess, I do have those doubts, but each and every time I do one of these and keep doing them, the easier it becomes and the less that fear is there. I'm not going to say that it's not there, because it's definitely there, and it's not an easy thing to overcome. Fear isn't, especially when you're trying to do something that is something that you've been made to do. And, but I'm going to do it. And there's going to be people out there who are haters. That's cool too. But you just got to roll with what you know, and your heart is right, and you know where God is leading you to go, and that's what I'm doing. So, with that being said, have you ever gone through your life and you felt like no matter what you did, it was never good enough? Have you always had this underlying fear in your mind that consistently takes you away from what you know you need to be doing? Do you find yourself procrastinating more than you would like to? Do you find yourself never fully satisfied with what you can accomplish? Or never satisfied even if you did give your very best? If any of you suffer with these problems, these things you think about, well, that's part of life, right? The problem is, though, is if these things are becoming a burden in your life, there's probably a deeper issue there. And what I want to talk about today is perfectionism, okay? It's been a big time thing in my life, and I'm going to be straight up honest with you. It had run my life for like 35 years. I'm 36 now. And it was running my life to the ultimate degree, to where I couldn't function like I wanted to. Because perfectionism is actually tied into fear. The fear of feeling that you're not good enough, that you can't do it all. But here's the deal, guys. This is something that I learned when I was going through Tony Robbins' program, his little coaching program. There for a little bit I was doing some coaching and going through some training, and in fact I'll probably end up going back to it when the time is right. But when I was going through this, I listened to something that Tony Robbins said that really stuck out to me. And he said that perfectionism is not a standard. For some reason, in that moment, it clicked with me, and I was like, he is so right. Tony knows exactly. Why didn't I realize this before? And I'm sitting here realizing the aha moment in my head, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And I finally was just like, in that moment, I started to give myself permission to start to let go of what I've been holding on to for so long. Was, I gotta be perfect. Okay? I gotta be perfect. I've got to have everything set in this right way and have it just be this certain way all the time, and if it's not that way, then it's not going to work out. I did that with my music when I was recording my music, because I'm a musician too. But every time I would go in and record my music, it was just never good enough. And I was sitting there going, man, beating my head against the wall. What's missing? What's missing? There's got to be something missing, right? And the thing was, it wasn't anything to do with the song. It was something up here was missing, okay? Lost my marbles. Wasn't because I believed that everything just had to be perfect. And that I had to fit some kind of a mold for myself. Okay, can any of you guys relate to this? Because if you can, I believe I can help you. Perfectionism is not a standard. Let me make mention of that one more time. Perfectionism is not a standard. You can never achieve it in this life. You can attempt to do your best every day, and that's what matters. Giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, going out there and giving it your very best every stinking day, that is what life is about, okay? Just giving it everything you got. And everything else doesn't really matter, because if you gave it your all, when you hit the bed at night, when you hit the sack, you lay down, you're ready to go to snoozy world, you know at that moment that your day was fulfilled. And that's it. You don't have to win a game. You don't have to win at everything you play. You don't have to be so competitive that you get down on yourself and beat yourself up over it, because you didn't give a perfect performance. You can't ever give a perfect performance. Never. Okay? There's always going to be some things that are going to be missing, but if you give it your very best, give it your best shot, then you, my friend, are in a good place. That's something that I've had to learn. So, in the title of this talk that I'm giving to you today, this little motivational minutes talk, however long this is going to be, is called Out with Perfection, In with Progress. Okay? Because really, in the end, it's about giving it your very best, and as long as you're making progress each day, that's all that matters. You're going to feel better about yourself when you just give more than you did the day before. You're going to constantly be going through this process of nurturing yourself, doing more, building. As you keep commitments to yourself, you're going to be able to find that you can do more and more and more each day, until finally you're at this different level, and you continue to move to all of these different levels. It's just, life's about levels. It's about building, raising the standard higher and higher, but it's not about raising the standard to the unachievable, which is perfection. Okay? For those of you who are Mormon, who have lived in Utah, I am Mormon. I believe this is one of the issues that I've been dealt with because of Mormonism, the way I was taught it. The way that God teaches us is to live a Christ-like life, to become as He is, perfect in the end. But to become perfect is to once again do your very best so that He can take care of the rest. Okay? And trying your best to always do things. But if you don't do things always like you should do things, don't beat yourself up about it, because we always make mistakes. And if you're always thinking that, oh man, I always don't do that right, I'm always not good enough, I'm always coming up short, then you will always be underrating yourself. You will always be in a position of victimism. You will always be living in scarcity, because that's living in fear of what you weren't able to achieve. Once you release the perfectionism, you start to love yourself more. Love yourself enough to give you the benefit of a doubt that you can make mistakes. That you can give yourself a little bit of psychological air to breathe. So that you can let go and everything's going to be okay. Then you're like, wow, I've never felt like this before. Wow, my brain's not going 100 miles an hour. Wow, I have more energy. What the heck's wrong with me? It's not anything wrong with you. That's the normal way to be when you release the fear. It's invigorating. It's amazing. It brings passion into your life. So I come here today to leave you this message, and I'm an equal opportunity lender, to tell you I am imperfect. I make mistakes every day of my life, and I'm okay with that. I keep moving forward, and that's all that matters. I'm not giving up, but I'm not dwelling on what I didn't do. I choose to look at today as a new experience, as a new opportunity to change and to do better. Dwelling on the past does not help me. Dwelling on what I didn't do 5 minutes ago doesn't help me. It only keeps me procrastinating more and keeps me away from what I have to accomplish and what my potential is. So, in closing, all of us deserve to give ourselves the best of what we have. All you have to do is commit yourself to becoming the best that you can be. That doesn't mean to join the army. That just means you go out each day and you just give it your best. Work on yourself. Work on your private victory first. Go after the things that you know you need to help yourself out with first. Being proactive. Thinking with the end in mind. Putting first things first. You want to go after those things. And then once you start to achieve those, you can really start to build your relationships with others. You can start to think win-win. You can start to seek to understand before being understood. Then you can start to synergize, actually be a team player. And then all of a sudden, it's not about perfectionism anymore, right? Perfectionism is so down towards the bottom end that's not even one of the 7 habits of highly effective people that I'm talking about right now. Victimism is part of perfectionism. Okay? Once you realize this, it's going to make a lot of sense. Victimism is tied into perfectionism. Perfectionism is tied directly into fear. Fearful living. That you're never quite good enough because you set a standard that will never be good enough. And that is really an illusion. It does not exist. Perfectionism is not a standard. Raise your standards high. Keep raising them higher. But don't ever set them to be perfect. Leave the rest up to God and do your very best. This is Ben signing out. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. God bless you all. I love you, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be giving you this insight. If you have any comments, want to post up, feel free. I'm here to help you. God is sending me on this mission, and so we're just going to keep the ball rolling.